Did Malik Nabers suffer a setback while trying to clear concussion protocol? Brian Daboll said he's in the same spot, but he actually did less at practice today than he did on Wednesday, and I believe his game day status for this Sunday night against the Bengals is in jeopardy. We're going to break that down on today's show, as well as the full New York Giants injury report. But if you love the Giants and you want free, informative, entertaining updates every single day, subscribe to the channel. I wanted to launch a subscriber battle this week against the Bengals Breakdown, a channel here at Chat Sports, but we're smoking them, and let's put them in the dirt. Hit that sub button, and let's go New York Giants. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to the latest injury news for the New York Giants, and it focuses on Malik Nabers. Jordan Runyan says Malik Nabers is in the same spot as Wednesday when he did not practice per Brian Daboll. He is still in the concussion protocol, and Jordan adds that tomorrow seems like the big day. He would need to practice in order to play Sunday versus the Cincinnati Bengals. That came out at 12:47 p.m. Then practice happened, and Dan Duggan added this, and this is what I believe puts paint to the picture of Malik Nabers and his concussion injury right now. Malik Nabers did much less today than yesterday in the brief open portion of practice. He only rode an exercise bike on the side today. Yesterday, he was running and doing more football-related drills. Why would he be doing less at practice if he had to do more at practice on Thursday than he did on Wednesday to be able to play on Sunday? I think that it is more likely than not probably at this moment that Malik Nabers is going to miss the game this Sunday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. Nabers suffered the concussion 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago today. Sunday would be 17 days. If you can't clear concussion protocol in 17 days, that's not good. I don't know if there was a setback. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the Giants are just being extremely cautious and not trying to rush back a superstar player that's just 21 years old. Or maybe it's worse than we thought. I don't know. Look, I hope he's okay. That's a long time, 2 weeks, to still be in the early parts of concussion protocol. It's not that he hasn't cleared concussion protocol. It's that he's not even progressing. He didn't move up or in the right direction at all from Wednesday to Thursday. And according to Dan Duggan, he's actually doing less at practice. Look, I hope he's okay. You never want to rush a player back from a concussion. And I like that the Giants are being really slow with him and making sure that he's going to be 100% healthy. And every concussion is different. I know some people have reached out to me and said, Marshall, Darius Slayton can clear a concussion protocol in a week. Every concussion and every situation is different. I don't think you bring him back until he's 100%. I don't think you ever should do that when it comes to a concussion injury. But I will say it is concerning, and I am a little bit worried going forward that Sunday will be 17 days, and it sounds like he's still going to be a concussion protocol. And it stinks that we have to watch another game without Malik Nabers, man. Injuries suck. You go and beat the Seattle Seahawks. You get to 2-3. You wake up Monday morning, Victory Monday. It's a hell of a day. Then you wake up Tuesday. Kayvon Thibodeaux has a broken wrist. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. You think Nabers is progressing. He's actually sounds like he's not progressing. It's getting worse. And now he's not going to play. So no Thibodeaux this Sunday, and most likely no Nabers this Sunday. Things could change. You still have Friday, and you still have Saturday. The game is in New Jersey, so maybe they can have a light walkthrough on Saturday, and that's where he clears it. But, man, I don't think it's good that on Thursday he's doing less at practice than Wednesday, and he still hasn't even practiced to any degree, man. I hate injuries. It sucks. That's why I play Madden with injuries off, because I do not have the time, emotion, or patience for that. If you want Malik Nabers to get back healthy, man, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get the good vibes rolling. If you're watching, hit the thumbs up icon. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Look, if Nabers is out, next man up. Go and do it again, 86. Darius Slayton is going to need to be a guy that the Giants can rely on yet again like he was in that game against the Seattle Seahawks. 8 receptions, 122 yards, 15.2 yards per catch. Had a 30-yard touchdown that he caught from Daniel Jones. Slayton was awesome. The Cincinnati Bengals defense, it stinks. You can take advantage of it. It's going to be a little harder without Malik Nabers. You're going to need Darius Slayton to step up and provide some of that explosion that Nabers does bring to this organization. Also, Wan'Dale Robinson didn't have the best game against Seattle, just 6 receptions for 44 yards, but we know that Robinson is always going to be a guy that's being targeted and thrown at, and passes hopefully caught this week. Dropped, I believe, 1, maybe even 2 last week. You need Robinson to have a good game. Work in that slot, get open, be that safety net for Daniel Jones. Robinson and Slayton, they're going to have a tall task to step in and fill the shoes of Nabers. You don't want one guy to do it because they can't. Both of them are going to have big games if you want to get to 3-3 on the season. Man, that feels good to say that. Could it be the year, though? Or excuse me, could it be the day? Could it be the week? Could it be the game for Jalin Hyatt? Is it the time? Look, he played in 50 snaps leading up until week 5 against the Seahawks. He played 48 snaps against the Seahawks. He did draw 2 holding penalties. That's awesome. That's a win on a rep right there, but hasn't caught a ball this year, hasn't dropped, and he's got 0 yards. Could this be the week where Jalin Hyatt takes the top off the defense, a defense in the Cincinnati Bengals that's one of the worst in the National Football League? They give up the 2nd most points per game. They have the 31st ranked scoring defense, the 26th ranked yards per game defense. They allow 214 passing yards per game, 19th in the National Football League, and they have the 30th ranked rushing defense. So you can take advantage of them in multiple areas. They're a team that gives up a lot of points. They've been in shootouts. I believe the stat is, of all of the games that the Bengals have played in, it's an average of the highest point total. So when the Bengals play, take the over. It's going to be the highest point total almost every single week. How about Daniel Jones goes and does it again? I know a lot of people are like, Marshall, are you back on the bandwagon? Are you back in on Daniel Jones? And look, I think I've been very consistent. I don't believe that he can win a Super Bowl. I don't believe he is the franchise quarterback for this team. But if you go and play like you did against the Seattle Seahawks, where you completed nearly 70% of his passes for nearly 260 yards and 2 touchdowns with a 109.6 QB rating, yeah, I'm going to buy back in. But doing it one time in year 6, that ain't enough to dupe me, man. I need some consistency. How about you go in Sunday Night Football, beat the Bengals, then we could potentially talk about me stepping and getting closer to being in on that bandwagon. One game doesn't do it for me. I need to see more from that guy to do it, and for me to believe consistently, especially when you're the 3rd highest paid player in the NFL this season. Go do it again, Daniel Jones. We're all rooting for you. I promise you that. Coming up next, the full Giants injury report. We've got updates on offensive linemen, as well as Devin Singletary and a Brian Burns injury to discuss. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Game Time is the app where you get the best seats for the lowest prices guarantee. If you're going to buy tickets to go to an NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, or an MLB playoff game, maybe you want to go watch the Yankees or the Mets try to get to the World Series, do it with Game Time. Prices drop as the events get closer, and you're going to get the best deal in the market, especially when you use that all-in pricing tool, as well as the Game Time Picks feature, making it that much more easy to go see your favorite teams play. So download the app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's show. It's the only ticketing app I use because they make sure I get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. And I think that is something that everybody can appreciate. All right, the full injury report for the Giants. Did not participate at practice. Again, Malik Nabers, Kayvon, Thibodeaux. I believe he's going to be out for at minimum the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think it could be closer to 4 to 6 weeks because we know Brian Dable is super thorough and transparent when it comes to injuries. Greg Van Roten, rest day. I believe he's going to be fine. And John Runyan dealing with an illness. He's going to play. He's going to play. He's not going to play. And I feel like Nabers isn't going to play either, and I hope he does. With Kayvon Thibodeaux out, next man up, 51. It's your time to shine. Azeez Ojulari, he's going to have to step into a bigger role. His snap count is going to increase, and he needs to go out and produce. He's been solid this year, and I actually think from a technical pass rushing standpoint, he's a little bit more advanced than Kayvon Thibodeaux. It's just been the injuries that have derailed his career. Has a sack this year, has a tackle for loss, and a fumble recovery. I see him having a big game against the Bengals, a shaky offensive line. He's also going to need help from the big dudes, the big guys, the big money guys. Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns, 2 of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. Look, I say it every week, and I'm going to say it again. If the New York Giants are going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, it's because Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns wrecked the game. They did that against the Seattle Seahawks, and that was a major piece in them punching their ticket in the W column against Seattle. Dexter's been awesome. I think he's the best non-quarterback in the National Football League, and Brian Burns is starting to heat up. He's got 13 pressures, 17 QB hurries, and 2 sacks on the season. Limited at practice this week. Brian Burns' groin, he'll be fine. He's been dealing with that a couple of weeks now. I don't know how much that's affecting him, but I do expect him to go and play. Adoree Jackson, Andrew Phillips, they were back last week as they still recover from that calf injury. A shoulder injury now popping up for Drew Phillips. Seems like he's always got something, man. That stinks because he's a good football player, and he's someone that I think is going to be a shining star out of this draft class. Just need him to stay healthy. And Devin Singletary, a groin injury. I think he's going to play. The question is, though, how much is he going to play, and what's going to be the snap split in the share of reps between Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. Tracy was awesome against Seattle last week. 18 carries, 129 yards, 7.2 yards per carry. He made people miss. He got north and south. He found tough yardage, wasn't afraid to run in between the tackles, and then when the opportunity presented itself to bounce it outside, he did that. I want to see him involved, and I want to see the snap split share be close to about 50%. Look, Singletary's been good this year. He's made a lot of people miss, still ranked as one of the highest missed tackles forced per rush in the National Football League, but it is just 3.9 yards per carry, and the Cowboys game is somewhat as a game that's really lowering those stat totals, but the stat that's most important to me on this list is 2 fumbles. If you can't hold on to the football, you shouldn't be holding on to that top spot at the running back position. High and tight. Learn from Tiki Barber, my man. I believe Devin Singletary is a good back, and I think having a 2-headed backfield between Singletary and Tracy could elevate this New York Giants offense. Look, the Giants should dominate the line of scrimmage this Sunday against the Bengals. Bengals pass rush isn't that good. The Bengals offensive line isn't that good. I want to see the Giants pin their ears back on defense and get after Burrow, and I want to see them run the dang ball. Obviously, you can air it out. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is not all that good, but they are very, very soft in the run-stuffing department. I'm expecting Singletary and Tyrone Tracy to have big games. My question to you, though, before we bounce out of here is this. Who do you think should get more carries this Sunday night against the Bengals? Prime time. Singletary, Tracy, type their jersey number of the guy you want. Look, I think the Giants should win this game. I really do. The Bengals are 1-4. Their season's on the line. I know that they're going to be playing with that type of mindset. But where the Giants have their strengths on their football team, it kind of aligns with the weaknesses of the Cincinnati Bengals. There's a clear and obvious path for the Giants to win this football game. We got a video coming out on the channel tomorrow, so make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on so you can catch that video. But also follow me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Follow me on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.